Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with a brand new series of React. Before that, I just wanted to thank all my subscribers and viewers for watching my all JavaScript videos and liking them. Hope you will like this series as well. So before beginning with this series, I just wanted to give some brief idea what exactly we are going to cover in this series. So we are going to cover from basic to the advanced concepts of React as well as the latest features introduced by React. I'm going to cover that as well. In future, React if introduce any new feature as well, I will introduce that too. So let's begin with the series. So let's deep dive into the React one. Most of the developers having question in their mind, what exactly the React is. Along with that, there are some questions as well, like what exactly the library and framework is. So we will go one by one. React is nothing but a JavaScript library which is used for building and user interfaces, and it is developed by Meta, which is formerly known as Facebook. So why library came into the picture instead of the framework? Because like Angular is a framework and React is a library. So why the library is gained most popularity than the framework? Because framework is a full-fledged structure which provides a foundation, I can say, to build your application, while library is giving you the facility or feasibility, whatever you required, only call those functions or only call those library parts in your application and use it. So that flexibility and facility we are getting in the React, which is quite difficult to manage in your Angular. Next is it focuses on the view layer architecture of your MVC. MVC stands for Model View Controller, where model is used for adding the logic and handling the data, where view stands for viewing the user interface. Whatever the UI we have, we are showing it in the view layer, and controller is used for managing to connect between model and view. So out of the MVC architecture, our React is act as a view layer where we are just showing the UI and handling the interaction with that UI. Ideally, the React is used for single page application, where single page means we are just bringing one HTML file and loads the UI. But in future, wherever we require some interaction, wherever we require any other data which is not on that first page, we can bring it from that single page. Means it dynamically loads the UI as per our need, which is a benefit of writing code in React. We will see in those all this terminology in detail in future as well, in this series as well. Next point, why React continues relevance in 2025 or 2026, I can say. It is dominant in the front-end development because most of the startups or the enterprise are moving towards the single-page applications or web applications, I can say, where React gives a brilliant performance and the impact in your web development. It has the strong community support, and most of the tech giants companies have adopted the React one. Like I can say Netflix, Airbnb, Instagram, Facebook. So these are the giant companies which are using React only. There are some key features and innovations in React, out of which the first one is component-based architecture. I can say it's a core principle in your React, where the reusable and independent piece of a code known as a component. So every component is nothing but one type of UI on your application or on your screen. So every component or piece of UI we combine with each other and creates a whole application. So that is the main key feature I can say in the React. This second concept known as virtual DOM, which is provided by React itself, and this is the major advantage or major innovation I can say in your React. What exactly the virtual DOM do? Virtual DOM is nothing but a copy of your main DOM or real DOM, where suppose you have loaded a website or you have rendered a UI on your browser, and after rendering you change something in your UI. So instead of reloading the whole page, it only reloads that component which get modified and which is done by virtual DOM itself. We will take a look in virtual DOM separately, so don't worry about that, but I'm just giving a brief idea what exactly the virtual DOMs do. Virtual DOMs compare with your previous virtual DOM and earlier changes with the new changes. If the new changes are there, it only refreshes that component or that UI part instead of reloading the whole page. So that gives the faster rendering process or faster reloading of your page, I can say. Not reloading exactly, the reloading of your component. So it is a main key feature, I can say. Next, React hooks for your function programming or function component. Earlier, before 16.8 version of React, we were using the class-based component. We will look those class-based component as well, but now the React recommends you to use function component only. But you should be aware with the lifecycle of class component, so I will take that part too in this series. So React hooks nothing but a functions, which gives you the facility or simplicity to use some logic or to create some states. States means a variable, I can say in short, a state where we are storing some data and we will use it in future. There is some another innovation as well, RSC, which is known as React Server Component, which is created or developed in Next.js. Now Next.js came into the picture, or Next.js taking the most popularity in your React ecosystem. Why it is taking more popularity? Because earlier React or earlier version of React we were using as a client-side rendering, where the Next.js gives you facility for server-side rendering. That means the UI gets rendered on server itself, and instead of sending the whole JavaScript to your client or your browser, it only sends the HTML part of it. So that gives you the more advantage or more faster processing, as well as it is more SEO friendly. Earlier React was less SEO friendly, or I can say it was not supporting the SEO properly, but in your Next.js it gives that facility, or it gives you the feature of SEO recognition as well. Then we have the concurrent render processing or suspense feature. Concurrent rendering means multiple UI changes if you are doing with your application, then it handles that multiple UI changes at the same time instead of blocking the main thread. So it gives better advantage of faster rendering, as well as the suspense gives you the facility if suppose if your data is coming from an API and you are not rendering that UI till that time, the API is giving you the response, so you can give a fallback UI instead of giving the actual UI. So that feature is provided by your suspense. We will see all these features in one by one in your future upcoming series or videos, so don't worry about that. And last but not least, TypeScript integration. Nowadays React gives you the flawless integration with your TypeScript, which is advantage, I can say, for error detection, I can say, or auto completion. So these are the features, key features and innovations in your React nowadays. Why React having the more popularity and what are the benefits of it? I can say it is very easy to learn. Means any non-React developer also can read the documentation and easily he can develop the application through the React one. It has the declarative syntax, means we are just focusing on the how the UI will look like. We are not focusing on how React will handle that and will update the UI. So this is more benefit, I can say. We are just concentrating on how the UI will look like. It have the great developer tools like dev tools we have. It have the faster refreshing speed, as I say in earlier slide as well. It have the large community support, means if you stuck with any problem, then you can easily post that question on your support community and they will give you the answer from that community, or you will get the answer from that. It has the flexible and the robust ecosystem. Like suppose if you wanted any third party application with your React, like Redux, which is used as a state management library, so that time we can easily integrate the other libraries with your React and we can combine those for your developing your application. There is one new ecosystem created by React itself, and they recommend you to use that ecosystem known as Next.js, which is more popular nowadays. It is used for performance optimization purpose, which having the feature of server-side rendering, SSR. We call it as SSR. Means instead of rendering your UI on your client side, it renders your UI on server side, and it just give you that HTML part instead of throwing the JavaScript to your browser. So that creates a major impact while performance optimization. It gives you the facility of SEO optimization with that Next.js. So these are the benefits, I can say. And last but not least, it has a cross-platform development support with your React Native. With React Native, we can easily write a code once and we can create an application for Mac as well as Android. Nowadays, React Native also supports your Windows applications, so desktop application I can say. So these are the more benefit, and because of this, the React gets more popularity nowadays. There are some potential drawbacks and consideration in your React. Like, as you know, React is evolving continuously, so they provide the frequent updates with the React. We need to constantly learn those updates, and if we require, then we can implement it in your day-to-day development. So that is a potential drawback I can say. Next is unopinionated nature. As you know, the React is a library, not a framework. So most of the developers can think we can use this third-party library or this third-party library. Like, I can give the example. For state management, we have the 2 or 3 different libraries like Redux, Justang, or in many more. So might be some developers think that Justang will be the best option, and might be some developers think Redux will be the best option. So these are the some unopinionated nature we can face in your development team. There is some SEO challenges earlier, because the React mostly having the SEO challenge currently, but as ecosystem get developed day by day, the Next.js is resolving that issue of SEO challenges. But if you are not using Next.js, then definitely we have the SEO challenge or client-side rendering issue with your React. There is another problem we can say as complexity in your large-scale application, because for simpler application, React is straightforward. We can easily use the React, but while using it in your enterprise application, day by day our code becomes complex and we will face issues with that complex code. So we should have a proper architecture for state management, for handling the data migration. So for that purpose, we should have the proper architecture. So these are the potential drawback I can say with your React. There are some real world use cases, and some industry adopts the React as a development technology. Like an example, social media, Instagram, Facebook, e-commerce like Walmart, Amazon, content platforms like Adobe, where these are the web apps where the React as a technology they are using. Mobile applications as well, which they are using the React Native for iOS or Android application. There are giant companies, as I told you earlier in the earlier slide: Netflix, Airbnb, IMDb, Instagram, Facebook, Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, and there are some industry domains as well, like business domain, finance domain, health sector domain, or education domain. They are also using the React as their main technology for developing applications. If someone asks me what is the React future or what are the emerging trends in your React, so I can say Next.js dominance is there in your ecosystem. Means Next.js have given you the facility of SSR, server-side rendering, static side generation, which helps you to render your UI on server side, creates a UI or static generation, which is a faster processing or faster development I can say with the Next.js. There is another simplified state management library came, Justang, Jodai, Recoil, which is an alternative solution for Redux library, which makes your simplified state management. There are some AI-powered applications as well created for by using the React, and they are giving the smart assistant I can say while developing your application. One another main important terminology you must be heard about day to day: micro front-end architecture. Why micro front-end came into the picture? Why it is used as a modular UI? Because of micro front-end, we can develop our application team-wise, or we can create a bifurcation of your application into smaller applications, and then after completing all the application, we can just join or combine those applications for creating a whole bigger application. So which is a React future I can say, or nowadays also industry adopts a micro front-end architecture in their day-to-day development. One more another important point I can say as React Native used as a desktop application. Earlier the React Native was developed for, or React Native is used for creating iOS or Android applications, but nowadays React Native also supports the desktop applications, and it is used as a edge rendering. Most of the developers are not aware with the edge rendering terminology. I can say Instead of keeping the whole backend at one place, we can keep the whole backend at your CDNs, and we can use those CDNs for the backend response. So these are the edge rendering, means we are just having the backend at our very nearest position where we are getting the faster response. And because of the Next.js, I can say the zero bundling size, because everything is bundled or everything is rendered on the server side, so we don't require to bundle everything from the client side. So we can call it as a zero bundle size components. So these are the React features and emerging trends in your future. Next topic, why React? Why not the other frameworks like Angular, Vue.js? So as I told you earlier, React is a library and Angular and Vue are the framework, and it having a moderate curve for learning the React one, while Angular having the steep curve to learn the React Angular technology. Along with that, React also supports JavaScript as well as the TypeScript, while Angular only supports the TypeScript, where we are getting the extra advantage of using TypeScript, JavaScript and the JSX in your React. Popularity perspective, if I say the React having the more popularity than your Angular and Vue.js. It have the highly scalable feature, while Angular also have that one, but React nowadays gives the best scalable feature of your application. Performance wise, React is very good, excellent I can say, than your Angular or Vue.js. And while ecosystem, I can say it has a vast ecosystem than your Angular and Vue.js. So these are the major differences I can relate with your Angular and Vue.js. Why to learn React? There are many aspects because of which I can suggest you to learn React. Out of which, first one is high demand job available in your job market. If you check different portals for the job, you will get high demand jobs available for the React path. Second, if you wanted to grow in your front-end development, you will definitely get a strong career growth opportunity in React. If you wanted to learn React, then you will get most of the material available on your internet, because of which you will get easy access to learn the React or its resources. Along with that, React also have high community or vast community support through which you can resolve your issues. Ideally, the React is used for scalable and maintainable applications, and because of which you should go with the React. So what conclusion you can take it from this video? Yes, definitely. React continuously shaping the modern web development. React have given you the server components, AI integration facility. It has a stronger community support, stronger ecosystem, and last but not least, React Native, which expands their boundary not just from developing iOS or Android app development to the desktop app as well. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share this channel. Thank you.